My only goal for the rest of the year is to finish this damn series. Okay. Hey, what's up? Hello, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. January was a weird month. I feel like a lot of the month was like, oh, I'm kind of reading whatever I want because I'm happy and life is fine and beautiful. And then the last half of the month, or even the last, I don't know, 9 days, really just set the toll. You know? I feel like a lot of us collectively trauma bonded over what happened in January, and therefore it kind of reflected in my reading patterns for January. I read 10 books in the month of, was it 11? I believe 10 books. It was a very wild ride. We did some rereads. I read some not so great books. I read some amazing books. So I'm going to go through them with you today. Lowest rating to highest rating for the 10 books that I read in January. Let's go. I fear I might get hate for this. I fear I might not be liked after this. At last place for the month, I have Broken Bonds by J. Bree. There's not much to say to this book other than the fact that I was waiting for the romance to start the entire book. This, to its core, was a bully romance, and not in the fun, cute way. This was very much like, I'm gonna be mean to her because I can, and like most of the time I'm into that, but this, I'm not into it for this. I couldn't do it. I felt like literally nothing happened until like here. I was waiting and waiting and waiting for the story to pick up and for the romance to start actually romancing. There were definitely moments in the book that I enjoyed and that I was falling in love with like one of the men in this book, because this is in fact a Why Choose Romance. When I tell you I am devastated that I didn't like this book, I mean that with my entire heart. I was really, really hoping I was going to love this because Why Choose was kind of the theme this month. I don't know why. It fell flat for me. I rated this 2 stars. I will not be continuing on in the series. Don't hate me. Similar situation. Losers Part 2 by Harley LaRue. Now Part 1 was good. Okay, Part 1 I gave like 4.5 stars. I can't remember what I gave Part 1. But Part 2, I was just like, okay, we get it. You want to like, I get it. Like, you want to mess around with her. You want to do stuff with her. Like, I get it. You're attracted to her, but you hate her. Like, I get it. Where's the plot? And the plot, Harley LaRue, I love you so much, okay? Please don't come for me, okay? The plot was shallow. The plot was shallow. I didn't really love where the plot took me. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but there was too much smut. There was too much smut, not enough story. And this is the first time I have ever come across too much smut, not enough story. The Boys, love The Boys. Okay, I will always love The Boys because part one did what it needed to do. But Part 2, I was like, I get it. I get it. You could have combined Part 1 and Part 2 together and just taken out like a couple of the scenes where they were intimate. Like, I just, and you could have used that time to really strengthen the plot. Like, it hurts me to say this about a Harley LaRue book, but that's just my honest opinion. I obviously still love Harley LaRue. I enjoy all of their writing. And even The Dare. The Dare is the novella that comes before the Losers Duet. Chef's kiss, okay? I ate it up. It was so good. This just fell flat for me. This I gave 3 stars. A Very Bad Thing by J.T. Ellison. I don't remember what happened in this book. I read this for book club and then I ended up not even going to the book club because things happened. All I do remember is that it was too long. It was too long. Way too long. Way too much filler. In my mind, if I don't even remember what happened in the book, I obviously didn't like it that much. I do remember the plot twist was pretty good. Like, the last, like, big moment was really good. I couldn't even tell you what happened, actually. And that's kind of telling. I gave this 3.5 stars. It's a thriller, but it's too long. Lots of words. Next up is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. This, I can get behind this, okay? For the first, like, 50% of the book, I was all in on Michael Christ, okay? I was all in on this story and Michael and Erica as characters. Then there was like an entire scene, I'm not even kidding you, an entire scene of them making peanut butter sandwiches together. Like, what? And then like it obviously led to like a darker romantic scene, but like, I don't care what you put on your peanut butter sandwich, girl. I'm not here for your health tips. I'm here to watch you, you know, do your thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, that really ruined the rest of the book for me, because then I was like, is this a rom-com or is this a dark romance? Like, and I know this is a dark romance, but like Michael Christ, I fear he's just not dark. I fear he is morally gray, if anything. He is just like a very broody golden retriever. You know, he's mean to her, absolutely, but like, I wouldn't say like dark romance criteria, especially now that I'm on Kill Switch. Girl, this was child's play compared to the rest of the series, okay? I ended up giving this one 3.75 stars. It was a great start to the story. It obviously hooked me enough to want to continue on into the Devil's Night series, but this was definitely not my favorite, especially now that I've read the next 2 books of the series. Like, this was child's play. Okay, so now we're getting to the goods. I read Zodiac Academy this month, and oh my God, I was so nervous that I was going to pick this book up and hate it. I was really nervous that I was going to be one of the Zodiac Academy haters. And from what I've heard is if you like the first book, you're pretty much set. And I liked the first book. So this started off so strong. This is a very intense bully romance. I mean, they are quite literally trying to scare them out of Zodiac Academy. And they will do whatever they have to do to get them out, including, but not limited to, doing things to their hair. Don't touch a bitch's hair, okay? The characters in this are so flawed. And I think that's why I liked it so much, is that they're so toxic. And the boys in this book, they're so toxic, they're so mean, but you can tell there's like underlying longing and yearning for each other in this book, and that's what kept me around, okay? That's what kept me around. I am so excited to continue in this series. I gave book 1 4 stars. My only goal for the rest of the year is to finish this damn series, okay? I need to know the lore. I need to know what's going on. That's my goal. That's my goal for 2025. So I'm counting these in, but I'm not going to rate them differently than I rated them the first time. I did my reread of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I mean, I had just as much fun. You know, like, this is such a fun series. I did the dramatized audiobook versions of these books, and to me, that really enhanced the story, and it really made me fall right back into the world. I don't know why I ever took Xaden down from book boyfriend status. I put him right back up immediately at the end of Fourth Wing. I was like, what are you doing? He deserves top seat. I believe I originally gave Fourth Wing 4 stars. I'm going to stick to it. It's a very good intro to the story. It makes you care about the characters. It makes you ask questions. But listen, Iron Flame, she's 5 stars. Okay? I know what people say. Okay, I know people don't like this book, and that's totally okay. That is your prerogative. This book is so good. I ate this stuff up. Now, when I tell you part 1 and part 2 of this book could be completely different stories, I mean that with my entire heart, okay? Rebecca Yarros very much could have just cut these 2 into different books. I know that, okay? But you get so much lore and information in Iron Flame, and it's so important to the series and to the magic system. And you just learn so much about a lot of characters in Iron Flame. I don't see why you couldn't like it. Is she super annoying in this one? Yeah. Yeah, she makes me want to pull my hair out. She's so annoying in this one. But I could get over it for the lore. I really could push past for the lore. And now that I'm reading Onyx Storm, I'm seeing why Iron Flame is so important and why I like Iron Flame so much. I gave Iron Flame 5 stars the first time. It's getting 5 stars the second time. So good. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame hold true to their status from the first time I read them. They have not changed. I love them both the same. And when I inevitably do my 3rd reread for whenever book 4 and 5 come out, I'm going to love them again then too. Okay. So I finished The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne. Emotional damage. Emotional damage, okay? I was not ready for the ending of this book at all. Listen, okay, if you're a high fantasy reader, you know what's going to happen in a high fantasy book. Most of the time, it's pretty much the same across the board. Something tragic happens at the end of a high fantasy because you have to be in the pits to understand how important characters are to you when you're reading the book, okay? You have to. It's lore. You gotta do it, okay? When I tell you John Gwyn hurt my feelings to my core at the end of The Fury of the Gods, I'm not alone because we did a buddy read for this book and literally all of us collectively went, huh? What? John Gwyn is the master of making you fall in love with characters just for him to take them away. That's like his personal, I swear it's like his kink. I don't even know. He does such a great job at character development and just really making you give a shit about characters that you didn't think you would care about. And then he rips your heart out of your chest. It hurts so bad. Very much enjoyed The Fury of the Gods. I gave this 5 stars. The series as a whole, really, I would give like 4.5 stars. It's such an amazing read. I Fear the Faithful and the Fallen still comes before the Bloodsworn Saga, but that's just my personal take, okay? But please read this. Please read this series. If you are into high fantasy, this is where you need to go. John Gwyn is a master at high fantasy. January felt so long that it feels like I read this last January. And I'm not even kidding. I finished Quicksilver by Kelly Hart in January, and holy crap! I read this with the audiobook, so I did immersive reading when I did this book, and it was so freaking good. This was everything you could want in a romantasy. This had a really unique magic system, and it made me think. Like, it made me ponder on what was actually going on in the world, and the romantasy part of this book, Kingfisher and his filthy, filthy, filthy mouth. My friends were not kidding when they said that he was going to be number 1. He is number 1. And of course, you know, it ends on a cliffhanger. And the second one doesn't come out until like September. Super. I just really loved how the whole time you were asking questions and you were confused and you were just very like, what in the actual hell is going on here? And then you get to the end and you're like, oh, okay. And I'm honestly super intrigued on what's going to go on in Brimstone because I think this is just going to be a duology. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But I'm pretty sure this is just going to be a duology, and Brimstone better have a lot of answers for me because the ending, girl, I got questions. Obviously, this was 5 stars. This was fantastic. This fits the hype that TikTok was giving it. I say that with my whole chest. This book deserves all the hype. 5 stars. So the next book was a hidden gem. I read A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, and this book blew me out of the water. And I don't even know how else to describe it. We read this book for a book club called the Queeriest Book Club. The Queeriest Book Club is all things LGBTQ+. So we read topics by queer authors, we read queer topics, all things surrounding the LGBTQ+ community. This book, in America right now, it is a very, very scary and strange place to live in. And for a while I was in a really, really bad reading slump, and I really didn't want to read anything that didn't just like feed my stimulation, like give me serotonin, like just distract me. And when I tell you this book brought me back down to earth, it gave me hope. It gave me a new way of thinking. I went to book club to talk about this book, and I literally sat there and just like spewed my feelings out onto the table like therapy. And the entire book club just looked at me like, okay, so you really like this. But it is such a short story, but it packs a punch, especially right now. So all I will say about this book is read with caution, but read it. Be aware that this book can be really, what's the word I'm looking for? This book can be kind of reflective right now, especially for people in similar situations. It's beautiful though. It's very poetic. The imagery is fantastic, and you got to read it. You have to read it. If you can get the audiobook is fantastic as well. This is a new coffee table book for me. I will not stop recommending this book. I think everybody in America needs to read this book because it's just that powerful. And maybe I'm being dramatic. Maybe a little dramatic. But I don't care, because when I find a book that makes me feel hope or inspiration, I want to share with the world. I want to share with everybody. And for Christ's sake, it's 147 pages. Like, you can read that. Anybody can read that. Just give it a shot. Obviously, this is like 7 bajillion million stars. I can't wait to reread it. I actually want to get a second copy and annotate the living shit out of it. And this is a series, I believe. I believe there's another book also in this series. I haven't read that one yet, but I'm going to. Becky Chambers is an auto-buy author now. Please read this book. Those are the 10 books that I read in January. It was kind of an average month. I've been doing so many rereads. I am so sick of rereading things. I am seriously going to be taking a break from rereading things for a while. I need to read something new. I need to feel inspired. I really love that I found a book that gave me inspiration this month, because I really needed it. And I even jumped back into dark romance this month because I was like, I need serotonin. I need to feel things. It was a very average month, but I did read a lot of amazing books. With that being said, as you know, you can find me on all other platforms listed here, and the link is in my bio. And don't forget to go to my page and ring the bell. That way you can get all notifications for all posts that I make here on YouTube. This is just a reminder. Take care of yourself. Hydrate yourself. Eat some food. Get some rest. Take care of yourself. And I need to listen to myself too. So just know that you're not alone. The book community is a safe space. My page and my home, my cozy corner, is a safe space for everybody. Just know that this is a safe space. And as always, I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.